Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, it is I am the one and only Sonic the Hedgehog here, and once again I am back for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos once again. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Ape Escape for the PlayStation or PlayStation Portable for a remake, or should I say the lazy remake throughout the entire PSP version, alongside with the forms of the digital re-release on not only on PlayStation 4, but also PlayStation 5 as well. So yeah, last time we did somehow manage able to start the game up by able to actually not only capture several monkeys, but also we did somehow manage to collect quite a few Spectre coins. So today, for this video, is the fact that we're going to be able to continue things on throughout the game, and able to actually explore the next level in the game, which appears to be level number 5. That's what appears to be Dark Ruins. So, yeah, because as a result, we've already technically went through 4 levels of the game so far, at least presumably, that we also did somehow manage able to capture every single monkeys in the second level, just because I just want to get this one out of the way, so just in case we can able to actually make the progression a little bit more, how should I put it, quicker or faster, depending on the forms of my skills. So either way though, let's get to it with Dark Ruins. So, and I think we do need to capture for about 6 monkeys. So either way though, that's how it goes, hey, when it comes to the main goal for this game. So in some cases though, it's the fact that I was expecting to able to actually just try to able to utilize you know what I mean with the actual monkey radar gadget, but I think I should probably able to actually just to figure this for myself. Although if I'm missing something, then obviously I will still be back for the previous levels to able to not only try to find you know what I mean, Spectre coins, but also these monkeys themselves as well. Because thankfully the actual monkey radar is actually the most useful item in the game, or the most useful gadget throughout the game, just in case you can actually able to actually keep in track of the forms of several monkeys that you haven't found yet. So either way though, that's as far as saying goes, that's pretty much as far as I can think about it. And apparently I somehow managed to able to almost let that monkey get away. But thankfully, I can simply just go to the opposite direction, and that way I can able to not only try to stun him, but also just capture him as well. So yeah, there goes that monkey right there. So only 5 to go. It doesn't really matter what monkeys you go after. Well, ultimately speaking though, I highly suggest you able to actually go after the most obvious monkeys to able to find or something like that. Well, mind you, because I have managed able to practice this game before, and I do realize about the fact that there are certain monkeys that are pretty hard to able to actually access to. But either way though, let's just go inside of this particular ruins right here, just to ensure that we will able to actually find some more monkeys in there, and hopefully without giving me that much trouble, then I would be able to, like, well, there are some monkeys that are pretty easy to able to capture, thanks to the forms of depending on their underwears they'll be wearing. However, there are a couple of times though about the fact that there are certain monkeys until throughout the whole game might actually felt to be a little bit more tricky and difficult to capture sometimes, mainly due to the fact that what they behave and stuff. So for instance, the yellow pants monkey ones are pretty easy to able to actually capture, because obviously they don't stand a chance, especially considering about the fact that they don't run nearly as fast compared to the forms of how it does it on other variations of certain monkeys throughout. So I know there's actually a Spectre coin right up there, but it's really steep so far, so we just need able to be back for that until eventually in the future. So in some cases though, there's going to be a lot of emphasis on backtracking in this Let's Play sometimes, especially considering about the fact that, well, assuming if you're trying to able to actually access to every single gadget throughout the game, then we would be able to actually have the ability to able to revisit the previous levels in the game. And that way, we would be able to actually capture most of the monkeys. So, anyways, let's capture this one right here. And, well, we only got the halfway point right now, until we're able to move on to the next level, and then exponentially we would be able to, oh, I totally forgot, much like the forms of Super Mario 64, that if I fell into the highest height, then apparently I somehow stumbled across a fall damage, so I was not expecting to see how that's going to turn out. But either way, though, it's just about the fact the matter is, though, although we don't have a gadget with us right now to make things a little bit more handy and useful for us. But either way, though, oh god, we're gonna get blown back by that ginormous fan. But either way, though, we'll just have to figure this out and how to able to actually just to get that monkey over there. So hopefully, we can able to actually just to activate the crawl ability by simply able to actually click the left analog stick as a button, so we can potentially... Oh god! Those missiles! I totally forgot there are missiles right for that monkey over there. And for some reason I just keep on getting hit most of the time, especially considering about the fact that, well, again, it's all new to me, so don't expect things to able to make things a bit easier to manage, and there goes my first step of the playthrough for reals. So, because again, tutorial stuff doesn't count, because obviously we don't lose a life in a tutorial, so whilst in the regular levels, there goes my first life. So that's to be expected with most, you know, trial and error situations these days now. But either way, though, that's as far as saying goes, that's about it, so yeah, a few things we want to explain while this is happening is the fact that today's day is, of course, the 5th of January today, in this case in 2023 today, and I think, relatively speaking, we've only just got about, I would say, oh, are you for real? Wow, they just managed to able to blow me back. Right down to the bottomless pit down below. Anyway, though, but at the very least, hopefully we're able to actually, you know, try to find some more extra lives eventually, even though it's not plentiful. But either way, though, we'll just have to able to deal with the hardest way if possible, so... Alright, so there it goes. Stun him, and capture him. There we go. God, it only took me about 3 tries or something like that. So, either way though, because most of the time, certain monkeys do act out behaviorally differently, depending on, you know what I mean, with the different colored pants they're wearing. So, oh, I totally forgot about the explosion radius for those specific enemies if you do manage to able to deal with these guys. But, at least we got that out of the way, so we'll just go ahead and hopefully try to find some more monkeys. Oh god. Something tells me about the fact that we're gonna have to able to do a Super Monkey Ball platforming style when it comes to likely going for this little thin path right there, but it also does remind me of a similar kind of stuff from the likes of Donkey Kong 64, that if you remember from the likes of in yesterday, that Maxi, he's actually gotten to the point where that he's almost done with the forms of Jungle Japes, actually. Remind you about the fact that he still needs to able to actually just to do multitasking challenges along the way, which, because believe me, about the fact the matter is though, between both Donkey Kong 64 and Ape Escape, that those two games might actually consider this to be a multitasking game or something, which I know it's hard to explain about this, because obviously it's been about 2 days ago since I actually last recorded this, basically, so... Alright, so there's another monkey right up there, so we'll just stun him and capture him like so, and only one more monkey left, and I think, relatively speaking, is actually not too far, despite the fact that I just keep on getting fall damage for some reason, which, thankfully though, unlike any forms of how it does it in Super Mario 64, that you get hit a little bit if you do somehow stumble across a fall damage. In here though, all it does is just takes away one of your biscuits as your health, so, or cookies to be more specifically, but there we go, that pretty much takes care of the forms of Dark Ruins. Now I just realized we haven't exactly obtained every single of those Spectre coins, but don't worry, we will be back for them eventually, if we manage to able to actually access to most of those other gadgets in the game. So, yeah, that basically summarizes as such. So yeah, that's all I can really say about this particular level right there. Even then though, it does take me a bit of some time to able to get used to with the actual main mechanics of the game sometimes. But anyway, let's see what's the next level. Cryptic Relic. So, I wonder how this level plays out to be.
Spike! A new gadget is completed.
This is a slingshot that uses various bullets. I will send these over. Try them out in your training space. If you don't clear the training, you cannot advance to the next stage. Well, good luck.
Okay, so now we can able to actually use a slingshot, and basically you do have 3 different ammo system for the sake of the slingshot, and by simply selecting one of these ammo counts, that basically does the fact that you have to press the corresponding buttons. Like for example, in order to able to change the ammo, that basically you have to press the X button for example, and vice versa if you manage to able to place the slingshot in either the circle button or the square button, or the triangle button. So, anyways, and basically we do have infinite amount of one of those ammos, and there's also the forms of a missile one, as well as the forms of the explosion projectile or something. Well, mind you, it's all newbie to me, so forgive me if I botch everything else up. So in some cases though, yeah, in order to able to activate the slingshot, you have to pull back you know, with the slingshot by simply tilt the control stick or the analog stick down, specifically the right analog stick, in order to perform certain actions. So, but honestly, I'm really into this kind of stuff, especially considering about the fact that the control style might be new to me though still, but either way though, I think that's pretty much about it for the slingshot. So, but hopefully there might be another gadget coming up, but either way though, let's just go and get started with, well, Cryptic Relics. So in some cases we need to capture for about 5 monkeys, and there's only 1 Spectre coin, which I'm hoping we can able to find out at some point. And I think there's actually a grand total of like, I don't know, 8 monkeys around here, or perhaps maybe 6, even though I've somehow lost count on it. Well, mind you, because about the fact that I couldn't see the text very well, so oh well, no big deal, but at the very least we can now able to actually select, you know, the slingshot, and I'm gonna place it onto my circle button, so, and hopefully I won't be able to have that much trouble with this at all, even though despite the fact that, well, there's one annoying thing about this game though, to me though, is the fact that, as you probably already noticed, that every time whenever you get hit by certain enemies or hazards, basically though, it does this retro video game thing nowadays, is the fact that, yeah, you get knocked back if you get hit by certain enemies or hazards. So, bit of a nuisance though really, although mind you about the fact of the matter is just the fact that it might take a bit of some time to get used to, as far as I'm aware for that kind of stuff. So, oh god, yeah, right there, it does give me a bit of a knockback, which is always kind of annoying, especially considering, well, thankfully it's not too far, well, assuming about the fact that if certain enemy encounters will tend to throw you off a bit, even if you really want to go past for those bottomless pits or something, so, but that might be kind of my theory anyway though, but either way though, that's saying something, so. Anyways, let's deal with these enemies right here, and hopefully we'll, grab some more triangular collectibles there, including the cookies to be able to restore our health. So, actually, I just want to point things out for something, is the fact that the differences between this particular version of Ape Escape compared to the forms of the PlayStation Portable version, in this case Ape Escape P, in the European version, whilst in the North American version is actually called Ape Escape on the Loose. And basically, if I've noticed the differences between these 2 versions of the game, is the fact that with its different, you know, completely different art style, or to be more specifically, certain characters have their own redesign to make it a little bit more of a modern look. But honestly, I think the original does suit a little bit more better in my opinion, especially considering about the fact that certain characters do look a bit, almost like a Digimon vibe kind of to it, to me though. But I don't know how I feel about it, but either way though, that's as far as saying goes, that's about it. So anyways, now we've actually explored, oh god! That was really, really close. But hey, at least we can able to activate that particular button right there, so we can able to proceed to this next section. So, either way though, as I said before, I'm about to aim for 100% completion of the game. So, in order to able to actually get 100%, you know, 100% completion of the game, it's nothing to do with the fact that not only do we need to able to capture every single monkeys, but also getting every single of those, Spectre coins, if I recall. And I think there's also technically a 3rd requirement if you manage to able to become a little bit more nerf-wrecked, or just, well, for this coincidence anyway, which I don't think I can probably explain about that right now, until when you were managed able to actually receive every single, like, monkeys in each level. So, anyway, so let's just go ahead and, get some more of those triangular objects, and, just trying to able to use the actual... apparently I made a mistake from the likes of in the last video, because apparently I keep calling that particular, the gadgets I somehow equipping right now called the, sword beam, but it turns out it was actually specifically, I don't know what you would call it though, because I know for a fact that it's been quite a few, days since I actually last recorded this, because, I'm obviously still busy playing through, Mario Kart Tour again, except this time around though, I somehow managed to able to got, pretty lucky at this point, especially considering about the fact that I've managed to able to got myself, you know, tons of points for specific drivers and all that stuff, and I'm almost to the point where basically I've almost like, well, at the moment right now, we actually on to 120 drivers so far, which is pretty huge considering about the fact that, you know, Mario Kart Tour does have a larger amount of characters at the moment right now. Oh, there's a Spectre coin right there, so we'll grab that in a moment. So, but I digress. So, I'm very curious to know of what's going to be the next tour coming up. In terms of the forms of Mario Kart Tour, or to be more specifically, the first ever tour coming up for the sake of 2023. But either way though, we'll find out until at some point, whatever I'll mention more about it, until specifically next Tuesday, or if perhaps even maybe Maxi will mention more about it whenever he goes back on to Donkey Kong 64. But either way though, we'll have to wait and find out, so... And apparently, from what I've heard from several rumors and leaks, despite the fact that I still don't trust rumors and leaks at this point in time, because those informations are quite vague, and also they don't seem to able to interest me, and on top of that, they like to trick you. But either way, they seem to say that the Nintendo Direct might be up at some point in next month, like in most any other past years, ever since in 2019, 2021, and last year in 2022, which I think that might be seems the case for the sake of this year again, for the likes of, you know, most of those Nintendo Directs will be always going to be at the second month of the year on February, and there's always going to be one on September, like in most of any other traditional formula, for the sake of the forms of announcing, you know, live stream Nintendo Directs and stuff like that, but again, we shall see what happens there. So, but either way though, because apparently that the leakers and rumors did say that there was going to be one for January, which, again, I still don't trust their leaks and rumors anymore, just because it's way more trouble than it's used to be, so as a result, there's not much right to hum about, and I think something tells me we can't fit through that little tiny hole over there, because... well, I get the feeling we do need that specific gadget in order able to actually make this work, so... but that won't be until later down the road throughout the game, so... it can take some time though, especially that, you know, in order able to progress, that, you know, we're still capturing certain monkeys after all, so... anyways, let's take down this little giant little pillar right there, and able to actually get, of course, the next monkey just right over there. And we only got one more left at the moment, so, and of course, we were expecting to get the, that one as we saw, but of course, we do need that specific gadget in order able to make it there, so, oh well, no big deal, but at the very least, that's, we'll save that until for later. So, anyways, let's go through here, and, I was expecting about the fact that, let me just go ahead and, utilize my, monkey radar, so just to ensure if there are certain monkeys I was missing, well, apart from the fact that, well, again, we'll be back for one of those monkeys until for later, so... but I digress. Apart from the fact that, well, relatively speaking, for those of you who lived in the UK, that, specifically if you heard of the game called, you know, Boom Street, for those of you who lived in the UK, apparently, that game has been out for about, I would say 11 years old, during the forms of the UK version of the game, because I know for a fact that the forms of the Americans release do somehow manage able to get the game earlier then he informs of how it does it where we got it, so... Oh, there's another way. Okay, I'll quickly investigate from here. And sure enough, if we managed able to climb for this pole... Seriously, that particular pole we just somehow climb on through, it does kind of remind me of the forms of the Super Mario 64 pole sprites, which I know it seems a little bit odd for saying this, but either way though, despite the fact that, you know, this game is only exclusive to PlayStation, which that reminds me that any other Ape Escape games never saw the light of day on not only on Microsoft consoles, but also Nintendo systems as well. Which I get it because the forms of this is a Sony exclusive project, at least back in the forms of in 1999, when the first game did somehow came out. But then some other sequels came out, like Ape Escape 2 and Ape Escape 3, which they are both on the PlayStation 2 respectively. And on top of all that stuff though, as I mentioned this before, there was the PSP remake called Ape Escape P or Ape Escape on the Loose. And there was also some other spin-off titles as well, which, for I've played certain spin-off titles, specifically the ones on the PlayStation Portable, called Ape Academy, it just somehow bores the heck out of me, especially that, for whatever reason, when back in the forms of in 2021, when I somehow managed able to start introducing the series of Ape Escape series, that at one point I was expecting to able to get myself Ape Escape P for my PlayStation Portable, but then I found out that I somehow managed able to get Ape Academy instead, which as a result though, for I've seen the gameplay footage, it doesn't look all that good to me. But at the very least though, until the next day, I somehow finally received Ape Escape P on the PlayStation Portable, which for I've played is okay. Despite the fact that with all this, the lack of dual analog sticks system, as far as the forms of in comparison to the PlayStation 1 counterparts, as well as that though, as I said before, the visual style is remarkably different than the forms of how it does in this version does. But either way though, that's as far as I can think about it. Oh, I definitely need to get that pickup right there, which appears to be the t-shirt, which if you ever obtain a t-shirt, that actually gives you an extra life. So, cool thing to know. Although, I was expecting to able to activate the switch, but apparently I somehow got distracted by, you know, capturing this next monkey right there. But don't worry, we will be back for more exploration on this level until, as I said before, once we get every single gadget throughout the whole game. So, that might be worth a ton for replayability and stuff like that. Oh, and by the way, if you ever catch certain monkeys, at least depending on what levels you're entering into... Oh, wait a second. Is that Buzz?
I've been waiting for you, Spike. This will be a fight just between you and me. Follow me.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot about this segment. Basically, before you progress through the game, we must be sure we need to do a one-on-one race between Spike and Buzz, or Jake if you ever played the North American version. So basically though, all you have to do in this particular segment right here is all about just a race, and it's up to you to able to win the race, or sometimes lose the race if depending on certain stimulations that... Although, it's kind of hard to say honestly, just because about the fact that, well, I haven't experienced this particular segment whenever I first played the PSP version, so... Anyway, so, because after all, that you probably already noticed the fact that Buzz or Jake, if you ever played the North American version of the game, that he's obviously being controlled by Spector, the white leader of the monkeys or somewhat. So, although he will able to actually be in the lead right now, but hopefully we will be able to catch up to him, and exponentially we can able to actually just to able to... Well, on this race right there, I don't think there's any gadgets you can use, aside from the forms of the water net, but that's about it basically. So you can able to essentially try to able to boost yourself, so that way you can able to actually just to speed things up a notch. But at the very least though, we actually doing this no problem, especially considering how the fact that this is the beginning portion of the game, so I don't know if you might able to actually get anything if you lose the race, but if you do win the race, like I just did right there, because I'm the fastest thing alive, I believe you get certain rewards for doing so. Like, if I recall correctly, it will be about 5 Spectre coins, which... Gee, it seems kind of worth it, honestly. Especially that we might actually get certain unlockables in the process too.
You're pretty good. We'll fight again.
Is that all you have to say, Buzz? Okay, so I suppose we'll meet you again at some point later on throughout the Let's Play itself. But either way though, let's not get ahead of ourselves, because I think it's about time for me to be able to save my game. Just in case if I have some bit of struggles with the actual, the mechanics or anything else like that. So yeah, let's just save our game. And yes, I got my memory card working, so just to ensure, I just want to able to demonstrate how the memory card saving system worked. So, and fundamentally, you do able to have multiple save files, assuming if you're able to have, you know, 2 memory cards, only on the PlayStation 1 memory cards. So, yeah, it kind of feels a bit similar to the forms of Crash Bandicoot. Let's just say Crash Bandicoot 2 and 3, as well as Team Racing file selection screens. So, either way though, it kind of reminds me of that, so... Anyway, so now let's go ahead and, I think we might as well do one more level for this video, which appears to be by the forms of... Oh, there's Buzz Attack Part 1? Something tells me we might come across into more about it until whatever we get to later on throughout the game, so I guess that makes it pretty obvious. Although, actually gotta think about it, before we're able to dive right into the next level, which appears to be the beach level of sorts, I'm actually gonna be able to revisit it back to the forms of Dinosaur Valley, because, well, after all, since we actually got ourselves our slingshots now, so this means we can now able to do some more stuff in this place, especially considering about the fact that we've technically almost done with this particular stage, until we realize about the fact that in the beginning, that we didn't do that much though, because obviously we need to able to equip the actual slingshot gadget, and because since we've now got it, so this means we can now able to activate that particular switch over there, so that means we can able to actually deal with this next monkey to capture, but as you can tell, he's actually riding on that particular dinosaur, in this case like Triceratops or anything else like that, so I guess that probably explains it, huh? So, again, this is all newbie to me though, so I think while on the subject for this matter though, let's talk about the another point of this particular discussion, and that is the fact that speaking of Mario Kart Tour though, that I suppose there's one thing I actually forgot to mention about this as well. During the course of not only in Sonic Mega Mix Let's Play back in 2022, but also say applies with Sonic the Hedgehog Triple Trouble 16-bit remake, that, as far as doing Let's Play is concerned, that we've recently reached for about level 100 for the likes of Mario Kart Tour, despite the fact that we're relatively speaking now, I was essentially in a late process of the game now, because while I do remember playing the game back in 2019, despite the fact that I'm pretty much in the actual crappy mobile phone for able to play in that game, because it was pretty unstable in iPhone 6 or below phones, because it seems very obvious that the game will automatically crash every time when I start the race, or essentially when the race sometimes. The worst example of that is of course, you know, with the forms of Vancouver Velocity track, that I swear to God, when I win a race once, that it somehow the game just crashed on me, which as a result of that kind of stuff, that was just like, I haven't done a thing at all from that particular tour, which is about almost roughly 3 years ago when that happened, and because of that, that's how I stopped playing, because obviously my game keeps on crashing on me, so... But either way, let's go and capture this monkey right here, and that pretty much takes care of the forms of the Triceratops, so yeah, in your face, mister. And if I recall correctly, I think we've only got about 2 monkeys left, so hopefully we're able to actually utilize the monkey radar at some form or another, until we're able to actually, like, well, as you probably only noticed, is the fact that since we did manage to able to capture certain monkeys, this also means that certain monkeys are no longer reappearing, so all it matters for me, though, is the fact that we obviously do need able to catch new monkeys and stuff, which, yeah, that might be some consumption, so... It also applies for the forms of some Spectre coins as well, So, yeah, because of that though, I think I'm actually kind of impressed with myself. We're able to actually just to, like, have fun with the game and stuff like that. Although, sure, it might be containing some of the, backtracking moments here and there, enjoying at some point later down the road. But as a result, I feel like I'm having a lot of fun with this game, like I said before. But it might take a bit of some time to get used to with the controls and the mechanics, as well as utilizing the gadgets properly, so... But it's pretty fascinating to say the least. So there's another monkey right there. By simply just trying to stun him, although I was expecting to be able to try to use the net, but then I realized about the fact that he just sits there and then just, well, just do nothing. So, I'm fine with that. Alright, so I think we only got one more monkey left, and then that pretty much takes care of the forms of Dinosaur Valley. So, okay, let's talk about another thing I want to mention, is the fact that recently, well, as far as I'm aware, it might only happen during the forms of sometime in February or something, that basically, one of those The Legend of Zelda amiibo lineup, ranging from Wolf-Link amiibo, or anything else to be more specifically based on the 30th anniversary of The Legend of Zelda stuff for its amiibo themes, that basically, those amiibos will eventually get restocked at some point in next month, possibly? If only because about the fact that it's pretty obvious about the fact that Tears of the Kingdom is almost approaching. So, yeah, it seems interesting to be able to actually have some restocks every now and then. So, because of that, I'm actually kind of impressed about that. So, anyway, so I get the strong feeling that the last monkey on this level is going to be somewhere over there. Right beyond this waterfall right there. Seriously, what is up with those waterfalls with those two monkeys in this level? So, although nothing to be bragging right or anything, but even then though, they're so obsessed with that particular waterfall spot, you know? Anyway, so now we've actually captured the rest of the monkeys in, well, Dinosaur Valley. So, either way, that pretty much takes care of the second level within 100% completion requirements, I suppose. But, either way, though, that might be some capacity and stuff like that. So, hard to explain, really, because, well, honestly, guys, that's as far as I can try to talk about this. Although, again, I'll let, Maxi or, Mighty and Ray will mention more about Mario Kart Tour's next tour coming up at some point in the future, but either way though, let's just see what's going on around here. Yeah, let's just dive right into the next level, which appears to be Primitive Beach, so...
Spike! A new gadget is completed.
This is a dash hoop. You'll run faster by rotating it. I will send these over. Try them out in your training space. If you don't clear the training, you cannot advance to the next stage. Well, good luck.
Oh, this looks awesome. Especially between this gadget alongside with the next one coming up in the future. This particular gadget is pretty cool. It's known as the Dash Hoop. And basically, all we have to do in this particular gadget, that we, as soon as we're able to equip it, that basically we have to rotate the right analog stick in order to able to execute the hoop dash. And basically, all you have to really do for this point is that you running at the speed of sound while trying to able to defend yourself from able to actually attack any other enemies. Or should I say, you can able to attack enemies with, which is, I'm not gonna lie, it's a pretty satisfying gadget to use, but eventually, whenever we get to later levels throughout the game, we'll probably get into is by far is the best gadget in the whole game. But you probably already know what to expect, what this is gonna be happening. So, anyways, let's bypass for those closing gates, and there we go.
Spike, go towards the ocean this time. There are many unknown things in this age. I can't even imagine what kind of living creatures may appear. Be very careful.
Don't you worry, Professor. I've got this. So let's see how many monkeys we do need to capture on this level. Oh, only 5, huh? Out of 8. And there's only 1 Spectre coin to be found around here, which I don't know if I was gonna able to try to find it in this level, but I'll see what happens in due time. Oh, this looks rather nice. Especially considering about the fact that we're gonna be exploring into sunny beaches and stuff like that. So, either way though, let's get this thing to it, and hopefully, that level won't give me that much trouble, unlike any forms of how it does it on, Dark Ruins, just because of that particular monkey just kicked my butt. So, either way, hey, how's it going? Having fun chilling? I thought so. And, I think for the majority of the monkeys in this particular section is actually pretty self-explanatory. Like, we already captured one by, you know, trying to able to capture him while he was having his, relaxation and stuff like that. And, there's also the other two monkeys just up ahead. And I think there's gonna be another one in here somewhere. But, I don't think there's gonna be one of them in the actual ocean seas anytime soon. Until possibly the next level, so that's why I get the strong sense of feeling that might be some consumption. Let's destroy that sandcastle with my glorious... this particular weapon is actually called the actual light club of any sorts, because I do finally figure out what the name of this particular gadget is as I was equipping earlier, so... But it might be taking me a bit some time to able to memorize certain gadgets' names there are. But anyway, let's capture this next monkey right over there. Oh yeah, every once in a while is the fact that in order to able to progress for the level, that basically we do need able to capture certain monkeys, because if you do capture certain monkeys, you can able to progress. So that might be something worth noting for, especially considering that we will come across into more details on that until the later levels to come. So yeah, something tells me that, yeah, it's going to be invisible walls, so, yeah, there's nothing important around here, aside from those little, trinkets that we've actually, somehow obtained. So, let's see what's beyond onto the left then. Oh, hello there. I see you when you're trying to relax right there. And, sure enough, we only got one monkey left already. So, yeah, things goes by very fast, don't you think? Although, exponentially speaking, it's the fact that, well, it's a good thing we actually got ourselves a dash hoop with us. So this means that certain obstacles... Oh, and by the way, yeah, I've already explained about that. Yeah, as you can see on that little writing on the lamp, it tells you how many monkeys you do need to capture before you progress. So, yeah, that's something worth classifying for noticing this. So... Oh, and also, as soon as you're able to realize is the fact that once you use the monkey radar, you can actually press the L2 button in order to able to see that different perspective on them. So, yeah, apparently I made that mistake from the last video as well, that I did say about the fact that L2 controls the camera, but it turns out it was L1. So, yeah, forgive me if I managed able to bodge things up with certain button commands, but I do know R1 is the jump button, so... Which just makes it pretty obvious because, you know, X can be used for certain gadgets equipment, and then using gadgets is by simply using the right analog stick at all times. So, oh, this seems a bit familiar, doesn't it? Although, mind you about the fact that the actual monkey just somehow managed to get off the switch to begin with, so we do need to figure our way to able to actually go across the bridge, because otherwise, if we fell, then we will lose a life, so we can now able to think about something like, oh, I don't know, the hoop dash, probably? But first of all, I just need to let this monkey decide to able to step onto the switch as much as he wants able to do it. So that way he can activate the bridge for me, and activate the hoop dash, and booyah! Oh, I just realized I would able to get my opportunity to able to capture not one, but two monkeys, but something tells me that, one of those monkeys is about to able to try to kill me, so... But we'll go for that one when, one of those monkeys has stepped on the switch earlier for activating the drawbridge, so... There we go. Nicely done for this particular stage. Pretty cool, though.
You're good.
Well, thank you there, Katie. Well, at least assuming if you ever want to call her Natalie in your North American version of the game, then by all means, you can able to call it whatever you wanted to. So, anyways, let's go ahead and save my game quickly. And once we're done saving my game, then I think, suffice to say, that I was expecting to able to do one more level, but I don't think I've got enough time to do it. So, in some cases though, yeah, let's go ahead and save my game here. And let's see how much progression I was at for percentage mark. 18.8. Not bad. So, yeah, we'll end things off for this point right here, guys. So join me next time for more of Let's Play of Ape Escape. That is the fact that we'll move on to the next level and hopefully catch some more monkeys and collect some more Spectre coins along the way. So yeah, that's pretty much about it. So I'll see you guys until next Tuesday. Later, fellas.